What's up, guys? I'm BTC. We just got a ton of new information, images, and gameplay from Riot's new FPS, Valorant. No longer is it Project A, it is officially now Valorant. What I'm going to do is a full breakdown of all the gameplay footage that they've released so far, because there is a ton of information into it. So first of all, Valorant is a 5v5 tactical FPS. Now, a lot of people were concerned that there was going to be too much emphasis on the abilities, or that there was going to be too much emphasis on the weapons. But from what I've been seeing, it's actually a pretty nice blend. It's not overly reliant on either one or the other. There's a good mix. So this is going to hopefully be a relief for a lot of players who were concerned about that sort of stuff. But right out of the gate, we can see that we've got the buy menu here. You have the amount of credits that you have, the character that you're playing, as well as whatever armor and weapons that you're currently using. You also have a couple of things here. You can see you've got Let's Buy, you have I've extra credits, and Let's Save. So you can get weapons and then drop them for your teammates. So if you are, flush with the credits and stuff, then you can buy the more expensive stuff and give it to teammates that have, been struggling a little bit. So that's really good. Now, there are going to be 3 different weapons that you get. You have your melee weapon, which is the knife. You can see the character right here who's kind of using it. You've got his hand and the knife right there. From what I've seen, it does make you move a little bit faster. I kept seeing people switching to it to run around, so it does seem like it works like CSGO, where different weapons cause you to move a little bit slower. You also have your Sidearm, which is going to be this category right here, and this is going to be, somewhat weaker weapons, right? The kind of secondary thing that you go to after you run out of primary. So you've got a classic, you've got a shorty, which kind of looks like it's a shotgun a little bit. You've got the frenzy, which probably has like a higher burst kind of attack. Then you've got the ghost, which I can't help, but this reminds me of the old Nintendo Zapper. Like, doesn't it look like that, the profile of it? And then you also have the sheriff, which appears to be that revolver that we've seen in some of the images. Now, there's a bunch of main weapons. You got the SMG, the Stinger, the Spectre. For rifles, there's the Bulldog and the Guardian. For sniper, there's Marshal and Operator. And also, you have, for rifles, there's 2 more. This is a little bit difficult to see because of the colors, but this one here is the Phantom, and this one is the Vandal. So you've got 4 different rifles, and then you also have 2 shotguns. It looks like this top one right here is going to be a kind of more pump action type stuff, and then this one is probably an auto or a semi-auto. And we also have the heavy weapons, which is going to be the Ares right here, and also the Odin. This Odin is that massive one that we saw in some of those earlier images that Viper was using. It's going to be a really high capacity belt fed type weapon. And then we also have some armor, and it says, importantly, it says versus all damage. Now, I don't see anything that talks about like helmet type stuff. It's only just shield. So it looks like it protects you entirely, regardless of whether it's a body hit or a critical hit or something like that. And obviously, the better the shields are, the more it's going to absorb. We also have the abilities here, which are on the bottom left. So this guy is going to have the Blaze ability. He also has Curveball and the Hot Hands. And then he also has the ultimate right here, which isn't available. Curveball, you can see it equips a flame orb. I will go over all of the abilities and the heroes and stuff in another video, because they have released all that information. But for right now, we're just going to go into the gameplay. So let's get this started, and you can see you start out with the knife, and again, you're going to just kind of run over, and on the top left here, we've got the mini-map. And it isn't like all stuffed all the way into the corner. It does appear, it's a little bit closer towards the center, so maybe it's a little easier for your kind of not direct line of sight to the center of the screen. You can see it a little bit better with your peripheral, maybe. And it definitely shows you what's going on, but it doesn't seem to be all that kind of like intrusive or in the way. We can continue on. And let me clear that real quick. And again, you run around with the knives just to kind of speed stuff up. Now, when we get over here, you're going to see this right here, this energy force field. So on every map, if you look over here, you are going to see, so I believe this character is probably right about here somewhere. And there's going to be these different force fields that cut the map in half. And both teams are going to have this. And what happens is, during your buy phase, which is what they're currently in right now, you can move around and reposition yourself. So it's not like CSGO where both teams are locked into the exact same spot every single time. Instead, what happens is you can make different strategies. You can say, okay, we're going to start on the left side, or we're going to start on the right side, or we're going to start in the center. So every time the map happens, it's not like the defenders can just, quickly go and block this area and this area. You have to be a little more adaptive and play around what's going to happen, because you don't need to start in the exact same spot every single time. Now, we just saw a couple of those abilities. That was some sort of a jump dash ability that we saw from the character with the knives. You can see here, all the knives are available, the ultimate, and all the different abilities as well. Let's keep going. And the match is about to start. Everybody, and there again, you have the that force barrier that prevents you from going through, and also the scoped weapon. So it appears that you don't ever have line of sight to the enemies when it first starts. So it's not like the barriers are directly in the middle where both teams can just kind of go up to it. There is a little bit of space. Each team has their own set of barriers. So here, this character is activating some kind of ability, but hold on, let me go back just a second here. And we're going to say, what is he activating? It says, hold F to capture orb. So it looks like he's trying... Oh, that's what he's doing. He's picking up whatever that thing is on the ground. Maybe that's some sort of item or credits. I think that maybe that's the credits. I'm not sure. And then we also have the big poison wall here. Now, we've seen this a whole bunch of times where you have the Viper character who throws out that big green smoke. Why it has the red on the top, I don't know, but it does appear to be the same thing. So let's keep continuing. And that was what is essentially a sonic arrow from Hanzo. Now, you notice as soon as it went in that some of the enemy characters began appearing. You can very clearly see one there and one there. We continue. And you can just attack them through it because you have that sonic and you're able to see them. So very, very powerful tool. And this team is now trying to flank around a little bit. He got immediately taken out around that corner. So you can see that the time to kill is pretty low in this game if you're just kind of standing in the open. Then we have that Viper wall. For whatever reason, the top is red. Maybe it's to indicate that it's an enemy and not a friendly. I'm not quite certain on that one. Let me clear that out for you. I'm going to come around here. Again, you've got this air character. Now, she just threw out one of the orbs, it looks like. Yeah, there it is. So the orb goes out, and as soon as it impacts with anything, whether it's the ground or a wall or something, it will create that orb. And it just, blocks line of sight. Here again, we have that sonic arrow looking thing. I mean, it's basically Hanzo, right? Like, that's pretty much what it is. So you've got Hanzo, and we had an enemy that popped up here on the side around that sage wall. And now the air character has activated her ultimate. And then you can see throwing out that orb again. And it looks like you can hold these daggers for a very, very long time. Here is a really cool ability. Let me go back a little bit. So this is a drone, and this is going to give you vision of the map. You can just move the drone around. So it's kind of, if you've been playing Overwatch, it's kind of like controlling Junkrat's tire, right? Except this is for the purpose of scouting out an area. So you can then fly this around and find out where the enemies are. This is an incredibly, incredibly powerful ability. And here we have what appears to be Viper's ultimate, because this is a massively, massively large gas cloud. And you can notice in the bottom left-hand side here, the character is constantly taking damage. As long as you're inside of it, they're constantly taking damage. But from what I can tell, it's not able to actually kill you. It brings you down to 1 hit point, and then, you know, you're fine. You can stay in it as long as you want, but you're still stuck on 1 hit point. At least that's what it looked like. I'm not 100% on that. I think we're going to see that a little bit later here. And you can see that the air character now has, you can see very clearly that she's activated the ultimate. Variety of different, again with the sonic arrow, very, very powerful ability. And it didn't pick up anyone. Oh no, it did pick up someone on the left hand side there. So you can see him right there. So I don't know if these players are really paying attention all that much, but he's there. Let me get rid of that. We're gonna keep moving through. This is some other ability. I don't quite know what it is. I mean, he threw it down there. I believe that is, I think it's some sort of stim where anytime you have a teammate that is inside or near that little object, that mechanical thing that was thrown down, they have some sort of buff. Again, we'll go over all of this in the abilities for all the characters. But you can see inside the smoke taking lots of damage. And once again, we've got the air character. So she has been holding on to those daggers for a very long time. It's not like Overwatch where, you know, you activate Genji Blade or something and you get it for, let's say, you know, 6 seconds. What is it? 6 seconds or so. And a bunch of the other ultimates last for between 6 and 8 seconds, whether it's, you know, Bastion transformation or Winston or something like that. So it looks like once you activate the ability, you get to keep it for a very long time, at least until it's used up. And this is where I want to show you, because I believe this is the spot where you see the character go down to 1 hit point right there. So 1 hit point, staying in that green smoke, the poison cloud area, but it does not kill you. You just, you know, obviously 1 hit point is not very good. And then as soon as he gets out, he begins, you know, attacking. Now, this right here is known as the spike. So this is known as the spike, and whatever this is the deactivation tool. So the way that the maps are played is the attacking team needs to plant the spike, and then the defenders need to defuse it, or the one team just needs to get fully taken out. Now, just like CSGO, if the attackers plant the spike, even if you take out all the attackers, you still need to go back and deactivate the spike. Right? So, I mean, it's just like, you know, bomb sites, planting bombs with CSGO. Continue here, and you can see that it's diffusing it. And that's it. That's the round 1. You can pick up the weapon, so this is obviously a very expensive weapon. They want to make sure that they hold on to it and carry it on into the next one. So there you go, guys. That is a pretty standard round in Project Valorant. Not quite exactly CSGO, not also Overwatch. A nice little blend of both. You have to rely on both the weapons and the abilities. You can't just try to use one or the other. Nice little mix. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can get some cool gear, join my Discord server, or follow me on social media with the links down in the description below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, and remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.